Talk Stroke. Hey, Kevin and Jez, I see you out there. Thanks for being here so early. But anyway, thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. And welcome to the Stroke. The show. I'm Jerry Wald, stroke survivor. And this show is to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, mental health, brain injury. I also wanted to provide a platform for all survivors to share their journeys from across the world, and also bringing on experts in brain health to share their knowledge for all of us to learn more about the brain, as well as bringing on other guests that have products, companies that can help with our recovery. So this morning's guests are co-founders Thane Hunt and Soniya Patel of Hominid X. But anyway, so please make comments, ask questions, and if you have not done it, please go to Let's Talk Stroke on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll bring on Soniya and Thane. So anyway, good morning, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. And again, ask questions, make comments, because what they're going to show us is pretty darn awesome. So anyway, let's bring them on. Well, so I got Click Happy here.
Hello.
Good morning, you guys. Nice to see you.
Hey there, Jared. Thanks so much for having us. This is great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you guys for being here. I see you all out here. And yeah, if you guys want to say where you're from, I appreciate it very much. And now you shared it on your social media sites.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think I see some familiar names too. So
yeah, and it's perfect. Tell us where you're from too. Brad, nice to see you. Rebecca, you're probably your neck of the woods there. Rebecca and Aubrey, I see you. Nice to see you. Salute. Michelle, I always love to recognize everybody. So yes, Joy and Lynn, this is awesome, guys. So anyway, perhaps we can just start with how this all started, and who were you guys before you started this company? So whoever wants to go first, jump in.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I'm the founder of Hominid X, and before Hominid X, I worked for several different startups across a broad variety of fields. We were building everything from prosthetic limbs to 3D printers. For my work, I like to invent new things, but my favorite pastime is fixing old things. So I come from a really huge family and grew up with a lot of time to tinker with machines and explore my interests. I was the technical guy in a house full of super, super artistic siblings. I mean, I'll never stop trying to convince myself that I can play guitar and snowboard, but I'd say I really just build things and design things. That's, the only time I feel real clarity is when I'm testing an idea. Wow. So I grew up in Connecticut and came to Massachusetts to study robotics in college. And like a lot of people, I stayed here for the tech scene. And as for the path that led me to Hominid X, it was clear to me from the beginning that I wanted to make useful machines for people to use. But I needed basically a decade after school to figure out that the exact machine I wanted to build would be made of people and ideas, not gears and wires. You need a big team to do big things quickly. So here we are. So yeah, I worked in prosthetics and orthotics, and actually kind of left that industry for a while because I was disenchanted with the medical reimbursement system in the US. And so I left all mad, but I went off and learned a lot about manufacturing and how to bring new ideas to the world in an inexpensive manner. And as soon as I picked up those tricks, I kind of came rushing back to disability tech to kind of deploy some of those new ideas. And that's how Hominid X was born.
Good stuff there. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm Soniya. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I went to school in Boston for engineering. After that, I worked at a large medical device company, and I was designing 3D printed implants for specifically knee implants. And then after that, I moved into like the startup world and joined a large 3D printing company. And so I learned a lot more about manufacturing and just across all different materials. And then that's where I met Thane, and I just decided to join because what we're doing is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. And Ron, nice to see you. Yeah, this is very interesting. Appreciate it. Yeah, so then you guys started. Are you selling right now, or?
We sure are. Yep. Yeah. It's the product was in a concept phase for a really long time because it's very no two hands are alike, and we're making products for hand disabilities for those of you who don't know. And no two products are exact. No two hands are the same. And a big problem is deciding whether you're going to make a Swiss Army knife that works for everyone, or if you'll make 4 or 5 different products that are super catered to the needs of a specific individual. So I spun my wheels on that for a really long time, but finally we converged on something, and yeah, it's on the market right now. So you can go to our website, and you can order this thing, and it will show up at your house in a box, and you can try it on. It's one size fits all, works on your left or right hand. And we've only been selling it for a couple of months now, but in that short period of time, we've gotten tons of users, lots of really great feedback. We've been able to continuously polish and improve the product. So yeah, it's been great. We're very much selling.
That's awesome. What is the product? I'm sure people are all wanting to see it.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we've made them wait long enough now. So our first product is called Fiber, and it is a assistive grasping device for people with hand weakness or stiffness. So a brachial plexus injury, stroke, cerebral palsy, ALS, MS, spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury. The list is really, really long. I'm sorry if I missed anyone, but there's just so many things out there that can result in a reduction of hand strength. So we made this thing that fits onto your hand. It is all made of silicone, so it's skin safe and very comfortable to be worn all day. The dominant 2 features are a wristwatch looking thing that has a string with a spring on it. And what that does is that string actually applies force. It's about 2 pounds of force. And running up the back of your hand, you have a strap. And on the end of that strap, there's a little hook. And the way you use this thing is, I'm cheating because you would do this on a table, but you place your hand around whatever it is that you want to hold, and you just connect it like that.
Wow.
And just to show that I'm not cheating, right? I'm doing this live in front of people here, so I'm taking a risk, but I'm pretty confident in it. It works great. So now you can hold stuff pretty comfortably. But it's not just a cup holder. You can use it to hold weird shaped objects like I don't have a pen on my desk right now. I have this tiny screwdriver, but you can, because you're using your fingers, you can position them and style them and conform them to create all kinds of different grasps. You can even hold a weird shaped thing like a cell phone. And now you've got that shape grasp as well. So it's kind of a one size fits all ambidextrous device that you put on your hand, and it enables you to hold a lot of different objects. Obviously, you have to latch and unlatch it, so it's not going to be the best thing for rapid pick and place tasks. But if you're brushing your teeth, writing with a pen or a stylus, taking a drink, talking on the phone, playing tennis, lifting weights, anything like that, this product can help you do that.
That's amazing, especially for stroke, but brain injury. But yes, Joy. Oh, thank you, Catherine, putting the website on there. Yeah, and Kristen Knuckles, nice to see you here. But yeah, that is so cool. For me, that would be awesome to because I have to hold my hand. I mean, me to grab a cup or anything, my cell phone, I have to really use my my teeth a lot, to grab things. And I broke my cell phone for that. But yes, that is, and you're working other things too. You're thinking other ideas.
Oh, we sure are. So So I alluded to it before. This concept of, do you have a Swiss Army knife device, or do you sell a lot of other devices? So one existing product out there that's many of you might be familiar with is our universal cuffs, right? Which are basically a strap that goes onto your hand with a little pocket on the side of the strap, and that's really great for holding thin objects, which I don't have any with me right now. That's too bad. But what we noticed is that a lot of those are made from fabric and Velcro, which is very simple and cheap to manufacture. But the downside is that if you're using it to hold your fork while you eat, it's going to get dirty. If you use it to hold something large like a toothbrush, it actually won't fit. And early on in Fiber's productization, not everyone was quite sold on the idea yet. So I said, why don't I make something a little bit simpler to kind of prove to everyone that we haven't lost our minds. We do know how to make products that are helpful. So we just took the old fabric beige universal cuffs and we remade it with nice stretchy silicone. And it's pretty much the same idea. I mean, most of you will be familiar with this, but you put that on your hand and now you have this pocket that you can fit a fork, a spoon, a toothbrush, a knife, anything you want into there. And obviously it's not as capable as fiber. You can't grasp larger things, but it was really surprising to me that universal cuffs haven't really changed much in 50 years. Right. And my first thought was, hey, if we just make this out of some stretchy rubber, it'll be able to hold a lot more different objects. The friction will be better, and you can throw it in the dishwasher if you want after you're done eating. Oh, nice. So we sell that one for less on the website, but there's a lot of people for whom fiber is just a bit too much, and they just need something occasionally for, say, when they're eating. So that's another product that we have out there. And then we do, and I can't quite talk about it in detail right now, but we do have a long roadmap of cool new tools relating to hand therapy and hand daily activities that will be coming out over the next year or so.
Where would you, I see a comment here from Ron. In the UK, do you sell it? I mean, does it ship anywhere?
Well, here's what we'll say. We have been, from a logistics side, we've been very lucky or unlucky that most of our orders are still based in the United States, a couple in Canada. Every time someone from a country that we haven't shipped to before reaches out to us and tries to order, I learn about how we ship to that country and we figure it out. So wow. I can't think of any place in the world where we wouldn't try. I mean, sometimes there'll be a little bit of back and forth. Sometimes there's unexpected import taxes and things like that, but we'll always work with people and get it to them as inexpensively as humanly possible. And I think the UK is pretty easy. I mean, we've definitely shipped products as samples to the UK. We've shipped them to France. We've actually shipped them to Spain. So in terms of how to actually sell it, there's just like random little additional taxes and costs, but we'll figure it out. So I would tell everyone to not shy away from reaching out and working with us. Sometimes they know better than we do about the best, postal carrier, for example.
Right. Yes. Yeah, this should be in every nursing home as well. I see.
We've gone to a lot of elderly care facilities, nursing homes, and places like that, and the fiber is pretty popular. Our modern cuff, as we call it, because it's like a universal cuff, but it's more modern. That's pretty popular as well, because a lot of people will their hands move, but holding a fork for a sustained period of time, if you have arthritis or hand weakness or fatigue, that's where this comes in really useful. So we've literally done days where we drive around Massachusetts and just knock on doors at those sorts of places and say, hey, is this interesting? And it's usually pretty sometimes we get turned away, but usually people are pretty receptive to it. So yeah, absolutely.
Soniya or Thane, I see Stephen's asking here, interested. You can see the comments on the right side.
Oh yeah. One size fits. It's funny. The phrase "one size fits all" is like such a common phrase that we use it. But I'm an engineer and I believe in precision of language. I would say one size fits 95% of people. If you had a really, really, really big hand or a really, really small hand, we may need to go back and forth and talk about options. For example, we have this. The watch strap is part of this thing. It's the thing that holds it onto your wrist. We've had some people where their wrists are so small. I could have said, hey, well, we're going to make a smaller band, but it's going to take some time. But in those cases, we emailed back and forth and we just took a leather punch tool and we added additional holes, just like you would modify like a belt, like a leather belt. And that works great. And as the company grows, we'll come up with strategies to address those kind of extreme ends of the size distribution. But for right now, I'd say we've had one person out of over 100 where it was a bit too big for them.
So they would go to your website to order one, and you mentioned, let's see, here somewhere, for this show you're offering a discount.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So with TalkStroke 10, which is a code, you can put it in a checkout. We're offering $10 off the purchase price. I've been told I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway. If anyone ever really thinks that this would help them, and the purchase price of $99, in this case $89 US, would be a financial hardship to them, I encourage them to reach out and we can figure out an arrangement. For example, in the past, I've said like, well, we can give you an additional discount, but take this thing, bring it home, really use it, and write us a really thoughtful email with lots of feedback, because that's worth money to us, because we can use that to improve the product. And
Right.
that's better for everyone. So we'll find a way. There shouldn't be a hand that needs this that doesn't have it. So the discount code's a great starting point, but if it really doesn't work for you, just reach out. It'll be Soniya or me emailing you back so we can talk.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I like to add, like,
Absolutely.
all the feedback we've gotten, we do use it and we do consider it. And I think that's like, if you saw where fiber was back in October versus now, you'd see like such a huge difference. And that was just all like reaching out to people and having them use it and then getting their feedback. So that's something we really value, just like in general.
Yeah, definitely. It's okay to have those good and negative feedbacks. I mean, if it's something maybe you have to improve, because can't please them all, right?
Yeah, and you
Exactly.
can grow from negative feedback as well. So
Yeah.
it's still positive in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. There's a, let's see here. Yeah, Catherine. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for help to take care of the community that needs it.
Oh, Catherine's one of our users.
Good job, Catherine. I like that. I'm glad you piped in here. That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm sure you have users all over obviously you said Spain and
Yeah. They were more like early testers, where like we had one gentleman in France, Felix. He was one of the world's first recipients of 2 arm transplants, which is pretty incredible that they pulled that off. So he had new arms surgically attached, which is amazing. But his hands, he gained amazing shoulder and elbow mobility, but his hand mobility is pretty limited. So we sent him earlier versions of this, and I didn't realize he was going to do this, but he hopped up on a bicycle and started riding a bicycle, which was pretty cool. And I was like, okay, be careful, you're kind of attached to those handlebars now. But he's like, no, this is how I do things now. So that felt super good, and we have an ongoing relationship with him where he's giving us feedback, and he has a social media platform that's been super helpful for us as well. So yeah, we're trying to reach out to people all over.
That's all awesome, because I can see Mike Peters. I told you here he is, Mike Peters from UK, South Wales. Awesome, nice to see you. Jerry Chapman, if you saw that, good morning. Would your product work? Be good for hand tremors?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a user with Parkinson's, and I actually, this is something that there are so many use cases for fiber that I didn't think about when we made it, just different physical situations. But tremors was on my radar very early, because I previously worked with a company that was trying to come up with, physical devices to help with that sort of thing. And in this case, if your fingers are have tremors, this device is really great for just adding stability to the grasp, because you might have moments where you are intermittently relieving the pressure on whatever it is that you're holding, and that can result in a slippage and then a droppage. And with this, if your hand is moving, I mean, we're not stopping those tremors from happening. This isn't a medication. This isn't deep brain stimulation or anything like that. But basically, you can go ahead and not worry about tremoring, because the thing is going to stay in your hand. So maybe there are additional stability challenges at that point, but you're not going to drop the object. And that's a really great starting point, depending on, the amplitude and frequency of your tremor. So
yeah, and that's pretty cool, because my suggestion is, just because of I talked to Jerry, Chapman, and it's so funny. He goes, when he takes his cup of coffee, maybe we shouldn't fill it up so high because it's shaking. Everybody kind of has to go away, move out of the way.
Hit
Yeah,
the dirt. Yep.
it's kind of funny. I mean, because that happens to me all the time. So, but
Yeah.
that product is pretty darn amazing. I think you guys just did an amazing job, both of you, to figure this out. And Raj, it's amazing. Well, it looks amazing, but
Thank you. Appreciate that. Like it was hard to. It wasn't actually that hard to design it. It was hard to pick the right problem. Right. So like the biggest challenge with fiber was picking the right problem. What was grasping really the issue. My early idea was, what if we built a robot arm to just hold your cup for you, or maybe elbow mobility was the real limiting factor. So it's more like once you've zeroed in on the right problem, the playing field that you're in converges down to a much smaller and easier to handle thing. And once we got there, that was half the battle. Fiber took a day to ideate, prototype, and test, and it's obviously improved a lot since then. But the basic idea is the same. So picking the right problem was key. And then the next, I'll just hold forth for a moment. The next biggest challenge was finding an occupational therapist to take us seriously early on,
Right.
to take me seriously, I guess. I finally gave up and just booked a booth at this big hand therapy trade show.
Nice.
And it was interesting. I think they just assumed I was legit because why else would someone spend thousands of dollars on a trade show display? But that perception of credibility got us the intro we needed. And those first few supporters are the reason we survived as a business. So I would tell everyone to go to trade shows if they're trying to make anything like this.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool how you both met, and I mean, you both came up kind of the same, similar. I mean, product design and work for that. As far as limbs and hands, and I think it's pretty cool. And Mike, yes, he said he is impressed. Yeah, I'm so excited to learn about this today. Thanks for being on. That's right, Joy. And Stephen, yes, thanks for doing that. And yeah, you guys get on the website because it is really cool. I mean, looking at this stuff. And your friend, one of your users.
Oh,
Wow.
that's so nice, Catherine.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, we're working with some occupational therapists to maybe develop, just sneak peek, develop a variant of fiber that can be used on all 4 of the fingers. Right now, we just do 2. And the idea behind that was a lot of people will have some stiffness in some fingers. So
Right.
we figured, okay, maybe, and adult fingers are pretty strong mechanically. So just 2 fingers was fine. But we are in talks to make one that recruit more of the fingers, not as a grasping device, but actually as like an exercise and therapy device, which again, these are new ideas that, we can't figure out unless we talk to users with hand disabilities or their caregivers or occupational therapists. So
Yeah,
that's why those conversations are so important.
absolutely. That's why you need the feedback from everybody that's using it.
Yeah. That's why complaints are starting points for us. Like I'm like, okay, we're gonna fix the complaint. That's no problem. I mean, we can always go nuclear and just give them a refund, right? Like there's never gonna be any bad blood. It's just every little problem is an opportunity to keep polishing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's and you both, both co-founders, but your title, Sonia, I should have put that up there. Your title is different, even though you're a co-founder. What's your title? I mean, it's probably.
Yeah, I guess since it's just like it's really small, we kind of switch it up. But I'm usually doing like outreach, so I talk to a lot of like the customer support. I do a lot of the marketing, and then kind of like me and Thane work together on what we should implement on the product. So it's kind of I guess that's something different for me is moving from a large company to like doing something like this where it's a startup. It's like you're just doing lots of different things all the time, and it's been really fun so far. So.
Yeah, I bet you have to wear different hats since you're both. I mean, it's you too.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of helpers too.
Okay.
And other people.
Contractors. And Sony is being modest. I mean, if I was going to put on my C-suite hat and give her a title, it would be like, CFO, COO, right? Operations, finance, tons of things. And then on
Yeah.
top of all of that, she's emailing people, making sure that nothing falls through the cracks, like figuring out promo codes. I'm texting her late at night, like, hey, we need this, we need that. So she's like the chief everything officer, right? And I'm the chief executive officer. So
Right. Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Look, yeah, I agree. Me too, Stephen. I like you see Stephen's comment there on the lower right. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, that would be. Oh, I see that I tried to pull up hominidx.com and the site says currently unavailable.
There's extra
you've got a
letter.
typo.
Yeah.
You've got an Homid.
There's an I, an
There's
extra
got an
I.
I between the D and the X.
Oh,
So
Stephen, you put on. Let's see.
I won't lie. If I could go back in time, I might have picked a different name. It's fun to spell on the phone. But we're committed for the short term. But
I know that's okay. I see the I. There's an X. The I before the X shouldn't be there.
Yep.
That's why it's not available, Stephen.
Well, Stephen, so for showing this to your local support group and to your neurologist, yeah, you should reach out and let us know how we can support that. We can create basically discount codes that make it so that the only risk is basically the initial shipping cost. Like we can cover return shipping and give you a full refund. And we're just like we're people. We're not some gigantic corporation, so it's no risk. And we also would be happy to like do a video thing with you and book like a demo for your neurologist or really anything that you need. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Right. Absolutely. So do that, Stephen. That'd be great. Rebecca has a question there. Did you see it?
That's a good question. It's very water resistant. I can put on my annoying engineer hat again and say that it's probably around IP65. But what that really means is that you could wash your hands with it. I wouldn't submerge your hands because the vulnerability is on this piece right here that actually creates the force. It's kind of like the external muscle for this system. That's a string being drawn into a chamber that has a spool and a spring. And while a little bit of moisture and water won't be bad, I imagine that if it was just submerged, it could accumulate dirt and grime, and eventually that would result in a choppier string motion and a reduction of force. But people wash their hands with this. Every other part is all silicone rubber, right? You can just wash your hands with it and dry it. So incidental splashing on this part is fine, but I wouldn't do all the way. I wouldn't do full submersion. I think you should be fine.
Awesome.
And if you ever have an incident like that where you ran into an issue, just email us because we can. The thing is actually, it looks like it's one piece, but it's actually made of several. It's actually made of several subcomponents that all fit together. So pieces can be. We're going to be rolling out a method where things happen, so we can replace parts a la carte, which will be a lot more cost effective for everyone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, Stephen, thank you, and Rebecca, that's awesome that you got the answer you wanted there. So that's pretty good. I love it.
I have a question for you, Thane.
What's that?
I have a question. Do you want to tell people why you went this route compared to maybe like a robotic route or involving electronics?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about there, but just what I say, well, high level, there's a lot of. I'm a roboticist by training, right? I love robotics. I like motors and batteries and controls, and I think self-driving cars are really cool. I'm like a kind of a technologist.
And he's being modest. He's made robots that are like unimaginable, and he showed me videos, and I was just blown away. Like they're
Really?
walking on treadmills, and
Yeah,
that's
I was. I mean, it took an army to do that, but yeah,
insane. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So, robotics can unlock a lot of really cool things, right? This thing isn't automatic, it's manual, it's mechanical, and there are limitations associated with that. But there's limitations associated with robotics as well. Immediately, you add a lot of weight. Immediately, you've added bulk. Cost is the big thing. So you'll be really hard pressed to find a robotic, activity of daily living arm or hand device for less than, just the hand devices are usually around 5,000 or more. Full arm devices are, it's bad when the website just says contact us. They won't even list the price. That's how you know you're in trouble financially. And so I went into this really wanting to do a robotic thing, but I just thought about how the cost works. And I said, I can't, if I do robotics, I have to have this work with insurance. And the insurance system in the United States, at least, I can't comment on the rest of the world, has a lot of loopholes to work through. And the company that we have right now is just too small to take on, the insurance problem. Right? If Pfizer and other big companies can't take them on, then what hope do we have? So we said, let's make it simpler, still really useful, but simpler, and offer it at the lowest price that we can survive at, so that rather than trying to figure out insurance, you can just buy this out of pocket. So I get asked, could you add motors? Could you add automatic locks? Where's the app for it? All these kind of questions. Sure. And I want all of that. It actually pains me deeply that we don't have it, but just the economics don't work right now. But we do have things in the pipeline where we're gonna start to walk a little bit in that direction as far as we can without resulting in some $1,000 device that no one can actually.
Right. Now, are there any sensors? Because Yvonne here from Athens, Greece says, can it have any reaction to cause seizure?
Can it have a reaction to cause seizure? I don't know that I'm qualified to comment on that. So, I mean, if a force applied to your hand could induce a seizure, then I mean, possibly it would be something where I would advise that you talk to your doctor about. Certainly, we've never had an adverse event of any sort like that. But
yeah, you've never been told that. But I would think, because I've used everything. I mean, not everything, but as far as stimulation, and that can cause seizures if it's electrical.
Well, no electrical parts here whatsoever. And Stephen, FDA approval. So actually, we are 510K exempt. So we are basically not even a class 1 medical device. This is the same as if you go online and buy like a universal cuff, for example. They consider, because there are no motors or active components, they say, okay, it's a blob of rubber. That's basically the way they consider it. So as long as you use the right labeling and apply those disclaimers, hey, talk to your clinician, and we provide traceability that all of our components are skin safe and all those other types of things. Basically, we just have to have that documentation so that, God forbid, there ever was an adverse event. They send us the cease and desist, and we say, here's what we have to show that we, had a best faith effort to keep anything like this from happening. So, if we do a more complex product, getting FDA approval will be essential, and approvals in other areas of the world for their FDA equivalents. And at that point, we'll have to engage with insurance companies and see if there's an existing reimbursement code that we can kind of lean our product towards, so that we don't have to start lobbying lawmakers.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stephen, thank you for all the comments. I appreciate it. Shark Tank. I mean, you never know. You have to deal with.
You're not the first person to say that. Soniya always says this. Like, we used to go on Shark Tank, and I just think Mark Cuban's a little too scared for me. But maybe I'll build up the courage at some point. We'll try.
Yeah, no's are free. You gotta ask. I mean, that's what I always say. Yes, Hala, absolutely. Thank you for your invention.
I'm just happy to be here. This is great.
No,
love all these questions and comments. This is
absolutely. I love it. So keep asking questions, you guys, or make positive comments. Okay, Mike?
Thane, do you have all the other colors?
Oh, that's what. Yeah.
We sure do.
You have them on your desk. Sorry.
I don't have them on my. Well, okay. I have this. It comes in 4 different colors. There's a white, which I'm not going to show because we all kind of know what white looks like.
Oh, well, there you go.
Navy blue. We've got this. I don't know why I'm wearing this one because it's not really my color.
You love that one. Yeah, we do.
And I'm going to just run away for 2 seconds. Okay. So,
Do you, Sonia, do you wear that a lot? Just for maybe.
I'm usually the hand model. Even at my old job, I was a hand model
Oh,
of
nice.
different things. So yeah.
I'm not a hand model. My
Yeah.
cuticles are a disaster, but like we've got this color as well. So it was important to us to design it to be a little bit, it's obviously not the prettiest thing in the world, but some of these hand devices are just so far in the direction of non-prettiness that we said, okay, let's try to make it low profile. Let's at least offer some different colors. And so that, I mean, people are going to see it and look at it and realize that it's not something that they've seen before, you know, out in public, but there's a spectrum there. And I figured as lower profile and nicer we could make it look. You know, I was reading years ago about how prosthetics used to be all skin colored, all the prosthetic sockets, and now people put tattoos on them. The carbon fiber thing is popular because people are saying, I do have this cool device, right? And I'm going to show it off. So we're trying to lean a little bit more in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And Catherine, there, can you adjust for thumb because you take?
Yep. So the current version of this device does not have any thumb assistance, just because the thumb is such a multi-axis joint that it's a little tricky to figure out where you would apply your string tension to get the grasp that you want. But it's definitely on our roadmap to figure out how to recruit the thumb, right? Because the thumb is the opposer, right? It's like it's not 1/5 of the hand. It's actually 50% of your grasp in most cases. So, but you know, right now, basically, as much as we do is we say, well, you can put your thumb unopposed, which is good. For example, if you had some, you know, if your MCP or something like that was stiff and you couldn't move it, but if you have that range of motion, you can actually position your thumb on the other side, and the natural tension of your ligaments and muscles and all of that actually reinforces the grasp a lot. So I do tell people that if they have that range of motion and there's no pain and anything like that, that putting that into the opposed position can really add a lot of gripping power.
Yeah. Couple more questions here too. I see. Stephen, do you have a Facebook page? And then the second question was from Jerry. How long can you use it before it starts wearing out or something?
That's a great question. So how long to use it? I'm not dodging your question. I will answer it in a numerical term, but I first want to say that shoes, you know, if you ask me how long shoes will last, I'll tell you, well, how much do you walk? Like my shoes wear out like instantly because I'm walking like all the time, constantly. So it's hard to give like a time estimate, but I can give you like a cycle estimate, right? Number of grabs and ungrabs. We're probably in the 300,000 grasps kind of range. So if you say, okay, a couple grasps per day and you do that division out, it lasts for a really, really long time. Usually what happens is that it doesn't wear, I mean, the only real mechanical part is the spring reel, and everyone asks, how long does that last? It lasts for a really, really long time. We optimized it with lubrication and all kinds of slippery internal plastics, so it lasts a long time. But the issue is usually you end up like running and you end up catching this on a door handle or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's sad when that happens, but you can reach out and we can try to replace the part that went. We had someone that broke it after a couple of months because they were using it to deadlift. And then we've had another person where the very first one we ever sold is still being used every single day.
Wow.
By someone that's like trying to run a bakery and use it every day. So it just depends on how you use it.
Bruce, thumbs rule.
Thumbs do rule. I wish I had more of them.
Oh gosh. So the issue I have found with most devices is that it cannot donate or recycle them.
You're so right. When my girlfriend broke her leg, we got all this stuff, right? I got bought crutches and wheelchairs and this like thing that goes over the toilet and everything. And a lot of this stuff was like barely used. And I went to try to like donate it, or I went to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and they said, we can't take this. And I went to donate it, and they said, we can't take this. And there are local organizations that I can't think of any of the names right now that specifically take used assistive equipment, and they kind of recertify it. And then they have channels through which they can get it out to the right people. We've never done that with our device before. But that's a great comment. So maybe that's something we can look into, because I love the idea of maybe someone uses this during rehab and then their hand gets better and they don't need it anymore. I would love for it to be able to have a second life with someone else.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I see a lot of people like Joy. I would love to use mine to deadlift someday. Yeah. So, and this is well, kind of down there. The website and the discount code, if you're going to order it, because it's I mean, how many times I have broken so many glasses. I can't even, I'm not even allowed to use a glass or even a plate. So to be able to grasp something, hold on to that cup would be really cool.
Yeah. It's the first ever version of this thing was actually kind of like it kind of looked like a cup holder attached to your hand. And I realized, well, why are we wasting the fingers? Like, if you've got fingers that can still move, we should just guide them into a grasp, because the human skin, like this is maybe I'm oversharing, but I'm pretty clammy. So when I hold something, like sometimes it just like stays on my hand. And I was thinking, like, I have looked at so many different types of rubbers and materials to see if I can duplicate the grabbiness of human skin. And actually there's kind of a startup that makes this shark skin product that kind of works, but it's prohibitively expensive and they can't actually manufacture it as far as I can tell. So I realized if we could wrap the hand around objects, you actually get a lot more grasping force than if you just try to bypass the fingers. That said, if we do have cases where people, they have like hand stiffness, like a contracture or something like that, you actually can use this without wrapping your fingers around it. So what you do is that you would place it more towards the base of your fingers, which is pretty cool. And then you would just set the tightness. And now you've got the hook down here. So imagine I have got like some sort of different contracture. I'll do it off camera here and then show you. But you can actually hold this, right? My fingers aren't involved. And that's a pretty good grasp. So maybe getting it on in the morning is a little bit hard just because those fingers are all wrapped up, but comfortable enough to wear all day. So you struggle with that for a few minutes in the morning, and now you're good to use that other hand to help you out through the whole day. So, and that wasn't my idea. That's something one of our users pointed out to us. So
good. That's awesome. And yeah, thanks, Catherine. Me too. Well, I said that, and she's saying the same thing. She's only allowed to use plastics, not glass like me. Oh, that's fine.
I mean,
you're right.
I don't even have like a hand disability or whatever. I'm just like super clumsy. So
funny. Yeah, Stephen. Yeah, this could be a complete game changer. Totally. You guys,
thanks for saying that. That's awesome. Yeah. We've been working so hard on it. We're like tired, but we're just not going to give up. We're going to keep going and keep perfecting it. And, we're going to a few more trade shows this year. We'll be at Abilities Expo in Phoenix at some point. Soniya, like maybe
September 8th through 10th, we'll be at Abilities Expo in Phoenix, and then ASHT, which is the American Society of Hand Therapists Conference, which is late September. And then
where's that one?
That one's in San Antonio. Yeah. Oh, wait, you're pretty close there.
I'm 20 minutes from there, so.
Oh, well, even if you will you be around on those days? We'll come
Yeah,
back.
do you want to show up?
Yeah,
want to hang out?
Where is that?
In San Antonio.
I'm looking at the dates here.
September 28th to October 1st.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be around. But yeah, we'll talk about it, and I'll
Great.
get myself limping up there. So
I'm glad we brought that up. That's
yeah,
good.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
And then,
definitely we'll be chatting about that.
That's awesome.
That's
Actually,
great.
Megan, one of our users, will be coming with us too.
Oh, nice.
And we found her on TikTok, and she's also she is a youth stroke survivor, and she's 25 now, and she like talks about living with stroke and like paralysis in her left side. So she'll be
Wow.
there too. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, and she's starting a bakery. So
Oh, the one you said. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, she had a stroke, I think, when she was 16, and she's 25 now, and she's tried a lot of different tools. When we met, she had all these different like cool innovations that she had kind of worked out to adapt. And
Right.
we gave her one of these. We got her one of these, and she's just like, she figured out so many random things with it. Like she's like, okay, this is weird, but I clip the can opener onto the can. I use fiber to hold it, and then I use my other side to twist it.
Good for her. Wow.
Okay, add can opener to the list. That's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay, so Catherine, yeah. So she's the one that introduced it to her. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ever going to go to Portland, Oregon? You're gonna,
It's not on the roadmap right now, but I like Portland, so maybe we can find a way to go there anyway. I'll be in Seattle over Labor Day, but that's not quite close enough.
Yeah, this is good. I appreciate these comments, and thanks for putting the website on here. I've seen several of you doing that, so that's awesome. Wow. So it's that the fact is you listen to the users to see, oh, okay, maybe we need to change it for this thing, or maybe this is perfect and we don't have to do anything.
Yeah. A lot of people, they're just like happy with it, but sometimes I had one guy say recently, you got this key ring on here, and he said, I can't fit my finger through the key ring. I said, well, goodness, it's an inch. Like, but he's got a big finger, so we're gonna get him a bigger key ring. So things like that come up, but we can't anticipate it. We just need to work with people that are willing to be constructive, and we just have to actually take the feedback. That's our part of the bargain.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's great. Stephen, yeah, Dayton, Ohio, or near Dayton, North Dayton. Okay. Well, you never know. They maybe,
maybe we'll do a whole road trip thing.
I would love that. I love
right around.
Yeah, that would be good because there's a lot of stroke survivors in our area. We have a little things. Yeah, they do rock, don't they? But we have a lunch thing we do with. They're all the stroke survivors in our area. So in September, whatever the trade show is, I'll get them all to go there. And they can.
That would be great. And we're excited about the products that we haven't even come up with yet, right? Just we know we're going to do it. And the coolest thing is that groups like this, like that are online right now or at this lunch or wherever, they're actually kind of the inventors. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but when I get like 30 people all giving me their insights and their feedback, that's actually what paints the picture. Like everyone comes in and draws like one line on this canvas. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, like this is what we need to build. So, because I don't have a hand disability, right? Why would I be the one to figure out what needs to be brought into existence? It's everyone else.
Yeah, but you definitely use you made something without a hand disability for us, or for all brain injury, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's the feedback has been the most critical part. That's the problem actually with I get a lot of investors and people asking like, oh, how are you going to make the company huge? How are you going to make it $1 billion? I don't want to invest unless it's going to become $1 billion company. And I say, if we become $1 billion company, I think we'll slow down so much that this cool feedback cycle that I love so much maybe it's possible to keep it working. I don't have enough managerial experience to kind of balance having a huge, powerful organization that's also as nimble as a tiny startup. I don't think anyone solved that. But for now, we're actually intentionally staying nimble because the products have to keep cooking for another few years before they're totally like awesome.
Right, but it is awesome. I mean, I like the fact that the comments. This is great. I mean, all the comments that you're getting for the product. So
No,
really,
this is awesome. We're just so happy to be here.
yeah, me too. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad this all worked out. And Kristen was out here. Oh no, and yeah, some
Yeah.
can't think. I lost my train of thought there, but um,
Okay.
yeah, a road trip sounds great.
Yeah, we should do one, Sonia. We can. We'll rent an Airstream.
Oh, I gotta
I
go in
always
there.
wanted to drive one, get one of those. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
cool.
I'll get the playlist ready.
That's important. We have a lot of people ask like, how can I try this?
yes.
And we know that we need to create some kind of program. Like Warby Parker, the glasses company, they shook up everything by saying, hey, pick 3 glasses frames and we'll just put them in a box and send them to you. And you pick the one you like and you can keep doing that until you find the one that you like. We're not quite financially at the point where we can spin that, but we do want to come up with some sort of program where like you're only out the cost of like return shipping if you don't like it. Right. So
Right.
it's like, okay, you wager $7, for example, in the US to try this thing. And if it works, great. And if it does, it's like $7. But that's like the kind of collaboration we need right now. It's not that we want those $7 so bad. In fact, that actually goes to USPS or whatever. We don't get it. It's just we need some way to do it, and we're just not big enough to have brick and mortar locations yet. So
Right.
we'll try to do some tour, some traveling stuff. That's why we're at trade shows. But I think for a long time, unfortunately, it's going to be just like somehow sending stuff back and forth with
Right.
guarantees of returns and things like that. But we'll get there.
That's exciting. Exciting stuff. Yeah, Montreal. Yeah, I see that, you guys. But yeah, this is great. I really appreciate you guys being on and sharing a product that. I mean, that's what's awesome. I'm not gonna. I love that you're on here. You know, I have stroke survivors obviously that come on and share their journeys, which is awesome. But then getting companies like you guys to share your product that can help us. You know, all of our stroke survivor buddies or caregivers to show, oh, my husband and wife or somebody can use this.
Yeah, no, that's important. I mean, it's maybe this makes me a bad capitalist, but all these products should exist already, and actually they should be under different brands, right? Shoes, anything else you want in your life, it's available under all these different brands. You can go to the store and pick the one that's perfect for you. And I just wish part of me almost wishes that someone else would come and knock this off and release more versions of it because people should have options. The pay $200 for a few pieces of Velcro and hand stitching thing has to go. I mean, the 70s are over. Like it's 2023. There's all this stuff should be solved problems and just be out there and be available. And there should be options. And color is just the tip of the iceberg. It should be sizes and features and options. And we're gonna get there. But I'm already just frustrated that we're not there already.
Well, can I ask you one question? Is 'cause I see Catherine Kit. She just ordered one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. I love these comments. But so Kit just ordered one. So if they call you or they get on your website, say, you know what, I'm having trouble, putting it on, or I don't know how to use it. It's like brand new. Do they call you and do like a video chat? I mean, I should open my mouth, but
if they have like an iPhone, I will drop what I'm doing and FaceTime them or whatever they want. We'll set up a Zoom meeting. I mean, it's just Soniya and I and a bunch of contractors. So we'll solve it because if there's something that isn't working, like we have to fix that. Like we have to. So, and you're just going to we're going to thank you because thank you for breaking that in a new way that we didn't expect. Right.
Yeah,
like, awesome.
Absolutely. Mike, thanks for still being here. Do something for socks.
Like putting the socks on, probably.
It could be because he had a stroke, and most of us are doing things with one hand for the most part. A lot of people have really limited use.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah.
Good.
I worked at a company where to put on these giant rubber gloves for chemical handling, the glove was on this like fixture, and you could just like shove your arm into it. And I wonder if something like that could be socks. You load it on, and then you just go complete it, and you're all set.
You never know. I mean, Thanks for the suggestion there, Mike. So, there we go. Got the wheels clicking for both of you.
He's done. Yeah, we're done now.
Yeah. All right. That's all we need. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Huh? But there's people like you that make it happen. Thank you so much for that. Yes,
appreciate
it
that.
is pretty awesome that what you're doing is just amazing.
Jerry, you've got the nicest, most supportive viewer base ever here. This is so awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And they are amazing. And the great thing too, there'll be a lot of people like always hit hashtag replay because a lot of them are at like therapy or they're somewhere, so they go back and rewatch because it's live on YouTube, Twitter, several Facebook pages, more than 2, 3, because you got yours or something. Okay. Gloves or mittens. Yeah, for me, mittens would be cool.
Like helping put mittens on, you mean?
But just put it like in the cold. Just for me, it'll take me. I'll have to have my wife help me, shove my hand in there because the fingers, they're not like this. What I can do this way, I can. So I have to. So for mittens, that's the best thing for me. That's just for me. But everybody else has a different, not story, but they have a different. Every story is unique. They're all different. Not everybody is the same. So
I always you need a mitten that has like a pull string.
Yeah,
it starts like size XXL, and then you put it on your hand. And it's just like right on there. Or
put a nice little whatever it's called, like you've got already. That
and then make it actually keep you warm. That's the other problem is that sometimes it's like gloves for like if you don't have a hand disability. There's really good ones and really bad ones.
Yeah.
And if one company makes like one mitten or glove that works, it's like in addition to making it do this cool thing, will they actually just make it a good glove? Will it actually achieve the goal? Right. And that kind of brings me back to what I'm saying about how people should have options. It's like you almost want to get a bunch of companies competing. Hey, I'm going to make the best adaptive glove. Right. So
yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate this very much. Very clever people you have on, Jerry, to make you feel better. Oh, to make me? No. I get lost a lot with Mike. Sorry. But yeah, you're right. They are clever. Think about what they do, for all of us. I mean, it's amazing.
You're clever too, Jerry.
Oh, there you go. I'm clever. Yeah, but yeah, thank you. You guys are awesome. Any last kind of words? I know it's kind of about an hour, but thank you. Thank you for sharing this too, because you never know who could use this product. So you guys, please share this to everywhere and anywhere. I shared it to, 20, 30 places already. So,
I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Like the sales right now are kind of a necessary evil. I want to just like build these products and just have them go out into the world, but like we live in a money world that is based around money. So with these sales, we can use it to pay our rent, get our groceries, and then invent new things. That's like our end game. That's like all we really want to do. I have no desire to, preside over some mega C corporation. I just want to build these things and release them. And this support is how we make it happen. So this is great.
You want the issue of trying to keep up with the sales, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's what we want. We want to actually put up that little back order sign. I mean, we don't want to put up the back order sign, but like that would be really amazing because that helps us.
And to have something. I mean, I get the really great impression. I mean, it's your business, both of you. So, I mean, like you said, want to pay the bills, the groceries, but also provide something that's it's not a scam. This is something that's gonna help, right?
That's why I put my name on everything. Like our TikTok name, I've got like Thane, Hominid. I put my name in front of everything because I always want to remind myself, like, I'm never gonna hide behind the logo. Like, if we do something wrong here, I want my reputation to be the one that's shot over it because this is important. But as long as we're open and we always make it right, like I said, we can always go nuclear and say like, hey, here's your money back. We're sorry we wasted your time. Like that's as far as we can ever go. So what's the downside of trying to make this change and do these things?
Right. Absolutely. Unbelievable. On Dragons. Dan in other words, he wants you to send him to the UK.
We can figure it out.
Yep. Absolutely. Homely handle. Yeah, I know. Is that not the hardest thing? This is great. Steven saying, clip fingernails. I mean, really, even that.
So fiber has an alternative use. So when we release the 4-finger version, it'll be better. But you actually can change. This isn't quite as easy, but you can change the tension on this strap here.
Okay.
And it actually holds your fingers in an extended position. I don't know whether this would fully alleviate it, but if you can imagine all 4 fingers being held up like that, that might help. The way we do it is we set the tension on this strap. Okay. So is we try to, and then against this strap kind of fights this. And we're trying to put the finger into that kind of neutral buoyancy. So, I mean, you can change those relative lengths to kind of preload your fingers into different positions.
Right.
So maybe that's something that we can try. And then certainly when we have the 4-finger version, it'll be great for that application. That's another great. We're going to add that to the list. Just extension so you can trim fingernails. That's a good one.
Yeah, this is good. I appreciate this. Is awesome. That too. I agree too. But you already said in the beginning what Steven said. You're working on the all 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And we're going to go pretty fast with it. In fact, the prototypes already exist. It's just like making it in small batches, right? Making 12 cookies in your kitchen is very different from making like 1,000 for a zillion for Oreo or something like that. Right. So first we prototype it, and it's literally I like 3D print molds and mix rubber, silicone, and pour it in and cast it. And I'm like, okay, I have one that I can send to my first ever pilot tester. And then we do that like 5 or 10 times. We iterate, we improve. And when everyone's happy with it, then we get it molded professionally. But those molds are like $5,000. You know, they cut it out of steel and they inject, and it's really fast and awesome, but it's expensive. So we don't want to make those molds until everyone's had their chance to give us their feedback.
Absolutely. You can just switching it over on your fingers would be. Yep. I know this is great. I mean, all these like.
Yep. You can.
Okay. There you go.
Yep. And that's why it's actually adjustable up here. I don't know if we showed that, but you know, this is adjustable to different size fingers. So you can kind of do one of those, or you can do. See, now everyone's watching me. Okay. So you can do. We've actually have someone that uses it like this because these 2 fingers just do not move.
Okay. So, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, any other last words? Because obviously we have to do this again because there's a lot of interest in this. Any last words? Before we end.
I just thank you so much, and like it's been great like working with anyone that's giving us feedback, and for people who ordered, I've seen them coming in. So thank you a lot. Good. Yeah.
I'm glad that they. From this show, hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, you guys. And you already saw the websites and all that. And really, I think would be the honest feedback.
Yeah, it's huge. I think people won't always provide it because they're like, oh, you're nice people, and we don't want to be criticizing. But it's like, okay, don't open the email with like, okay, you jerk. Like, just as long as we started on a positive note. I mean, you can say like, look, nothing about this worked for me. And it's like, okay, I think I'm starting to see the silhouette of what our next product needs to be. That's all I see when I read that kind of stuff. So have it, roast me. Let's go.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Soniya, anything from you?
I think some people asked about Facebook and Instagram. We have both of those. Maybe I can send you the links to post or send out after. Yeah,
and we could put them in the comments as soon as we're done here. You stay on while we can end it. But thank you for the idea to use the punch. Yeah, to make another hole.
Yeah, the short term is that we're going to just do that, but we're going to be molding ones that are in different sizes. It's just every time you add another size, you have to inventory like ×2 and then ×3. So it gets really hard. But right now people just need to grasp. So we'll try to be within 72 hours, like get you back up and grasping again. But then that stuff it takes a little longer, but it does trickle into like what we do like in the coming months to really
Right.
make sure that people don't have to do that anymore. So there's like the short term thing and then the longer term thing always.
This is great. I appreciate it. This has been terrific. I mean, Thane and Soniya, thank you so much. It was really awesome. We'll talk about doing another one. I mean, like if you want to. I mean,
We'd love to. We have new things coming out, and I would love to do a deeper dive on showing some of the use cases at some point, and then even demoing like this guy. I didn't give him much airtime because it's such a humble little device, but I would love to do a side by side of this versus just some of the old school ones. If you have Amazon, it is a big improvement.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put that right in the comments. Thank you so much for the. Sonia, you're so quick. Me using my non-effect, my right side is my affected side. That was my dominant. So me typing, just so you know, it takes me a little while. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it, and you guys are awesome. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.